Hi everyone, it's Brandon and I'm back from a long YouTube hiatus to bring you my easiest sewing pattern yet. Today we are sewing up the Varsity tee, my newest sewing pattern. It is a cropped, boxy, and elongated short-sleeved, beginner-friendly project, and I'm going to take you through it step by step. To sew up this t-shirt right here, all you'll need is the pattern, which I'll have linked down below, some kind of knit or two-way to four-way stretch fabric, and a sewing machine. Some things that are great to have but not a deal breaker are a serger or a twin needle. But if you're ready, then I'm ready, so let's get started. Alright, so if you're new to PDF patterns, you just want to make sure that when you're printing the pattern at 100% scale and that you measure these squares to make sure your printer calibrated the page correctly. Once you do that, we still have a little bit of work to do. What I like to do is start from the back and cut off the right and bottom side of every pattern piece. I like to use this guy here, which is just a paper cutter, but you can also use a ruler and rotary cutter. That works just as good. Or you could even just use scissors. But I love how fast this way is. Alright, so you'll do this with every single page. And honestly, when it comes to sewing up a PDF pattern, I like to do this part the day before. You could definitely do it on the same day. That's what I'm gonna do today. But doing this the day before actually just saves you some time on your actual sewing day and can help things move a little faster. Another hack is that this is all cardstock. So once I know a pattern works well, and because I've sewn like 4 of these already, I know it works well. I like to reprint it in cardstock just because it's thicker, and that way that pattern can have a longer shelf life and holds up better from normal wear and tear. I'm going to finish cutting all these pieces and then I'll be right back. Once you have everything cut out and you start it backwards, it should be in the proper order to start taping everything together. You could also use glue sticks, but I have tape readily available. All we're gonna do is match our diamonds together and then tape. Something I like to do as well is tape over my cutting lines. So if I know I'm gonna be cutting this line, I'll make sure there's tape on both sides, so that way the pattern piece itself will stay taped together. So I do that with all my pieces as I tape everything together. I guess technically, oh wow, the sun has just changed dramatically. Technically number 1 goes with these. And it's important to keep up with this sheet because it lets you know which lines are which size. When I printed my pattern piece out, I went ahead and selected only my size, which is a medium today. But if you're not able to do that, or you get it printed at a shop that's not able to do that, page number 1 will let you know which line is yours to cut. And if you have some diamonds that don't line up all the way, do your best to line up the pattern piece itself, not the paper, because I believe that will always get you what you need, even if the diamonds aren't perfect. So once you have everything taped together, if you didn't print out just your size, this is where you'd refer to the guide on page 1. You can highlight your size and then cut it all out. I'm gonna use my trusty dusty rotary cutter and this mat. There should only be 4 pieces for you to cut out, and I'll see you in just a little. So once you have your pieces cut out, there's just a few more things you have to do. If you notice on every pattern piece, there are like a few lines. Those are called your notches. What you want to do is take some scissors, or I'm actually using a notcher. Everything I use in this video will be linked down below, from the notcher, rotary cutter, mat, table, all that good stuff. But you can take your scissors or your notcher and just mark into that notch. You should have at least 1 on every pattern piece. And you want to make sure you don't cut too deep. You just cut to the end of the line. These notches are to help us put our pattern pieces together as we're sewing. So we have some on the side seam, we have some for the armhole, and of course the sleeve. But going through and marking these now just ensures that you'll mark them when you cut out your pattern pieces. And then we have 1 in the middle of the neckband. The last thing I want to draw your attention to before we get started is that both the front and the back and the sleeve have length and shorten lines. So let's say you sew this up and you don't like how short it is, or you sew this up and you don't like how long it is. You can chop the pattern right here on this line and either squish it together or pull it apart and fill it in with more paper. So that way you can increase the length or decrease the length by however you want. I know I said last thing, but one more thing is to know what this symbol means. So you should see like a half rectangle with 2 arrows. That means that these pieces are cut on the fold. It's actually on the pattern piece, just in case you forget, but both the front and back pieces are cut after you fold the fabric on top of each other. Put this on the edge so that way you get one big mirrored piece. Today I'm using this beautiful mid-weight rib knit that I got from my local fabric store in Atlanta called Gail K. So if you live in Atlanta and want to find this, they definitely have it. So what I'm doing right now is folding the fabric in half so I can get my fold line. You want to make sure everything is laying as flat as possible. So going under and pulling those layers. So once my fabric is as flat as I can get it, I'll go ahead and start laying my pattern pieces. Making sure I put the things that need to be on a fold, and just getting things lined up. It's also important that you're using a knit fabric or some kind of stretch fabric. This pattern itself requires fabric that at least has a two-way stretch. But once you've placed your pieces and cut them out, I'll meet you back right here and we can actually start sewing. So once you have everything cut out, you should have 2 mirrored sleeve pieces, making sure you cut your notches. You should have 1 neckband piece, 1 whole back piece, and 1 whole front piece. Now I can show you just how simple this is going to be. So we're gonna put our sleeve and neckband aside. We're gonna focus just on our front and back pieces. So what we wanna do is take our front and back and put them together right sides facing. So this is the back with the right side up. Then I'm gonna take the front with the right side facing this right side. And then I'm gonna match my notches and pin all 4 of these seams in place. Now I'm gonna go over to my sewing machine and zigzag stitch all 4 corners, or you could also do this with your serger like I'm going to do today, and also serge all 4 corners. Once you've sewn your 4 corners, the body of your shirt should look like this. One thing we're gonna do really quickly before we put this aside is find our middle points. So what we're gonna do is put our shoulder seams together, pull out our front, find that middle point, make a small, like literally 1/4 of an inch max, a small notch. Do the same with the back. We just don't want that notch to be larger than our seam allowance, which is 3/8 of an inch. So once I find that center back, I'm also gonna make a tiny notch. So that way I just know the middle of the front and back of my shirt. But now we can fold this and put it to the side because we're gonna work on the sleeves. The same thing we did to the shirt, we're going to do to our sleeve. I'm gonna say that this is the right side of that sleeve, which makes this the right side of this sleeve. So you just want to make sure that your pattern pieces are mirrored, and how you can tell that is by the notches. So this has 1 notch here on the left side, this one has 2. That lets me know that these are mirrored because this is the back of the sleeve and this is the front of the sleeve. The back is indicated by 2 notches and the front is indicated by 1 notch. So now that we have our pieces mirrored and right sides up, we're going to fold them in half like this, pin in place, and sew with a zigzag stitch at 3/8 of an inch, or take it over to your serger. So once you're finished sewing or serging your sleeves, what we're going to do is turn them right sides out, which means that the seam that we just sewed will lay like this, and the seam allowance will be on the inside of the sleeve. So I have 1 sleeve here, other sleeve here. So now we're gonna take that front body piece and match up our sleeves with the arm openings. I'm gonna do this from the front. So we wanna find our notch. So this is our front notch. We need to find the one that aligns with that one. This is also 1 notch, so it matches with our front notch. Keep in mind the shirt is still inside out. What we're gonna do now is open up that armhole with the sleeve right side out, put it inside, match up both side seams, pin that together, and then now we can follow those notches to match up the rest of our armhole and sleeve. So I've just gotten to my double notch for the back on both sides. I'm gonna match those up and pin, come all the way around, match my top of the sleeve cap notch with that shoulder seam and pin that in place. And then lastly, match up my 2 front notches and pin that in place. And for those who need more pins, please feel free to put as many as you need. But now that I just have those core 4 in, when I'm serging or when you're sewing, you can just stretch lightly to make sure everything is still aligning as you sew. I'm going to pin my other sleeve, go serge it, and come right back. So once your sleeves are connected to your body, we can go ahead and flip the shirt right side out, and we are nearing the finish line. This is such a fun and easy, quick sew that you can get done definitely in a day. Even if you are very new to sewing, I do think this is something you can knock out. So now with attaching your neckband, what we want to do is locate our right side, which for me I think is this side, and we're going to have the short ends meet, right sides facing, and you're going to zigzag stitch that down at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance or serge it. Once that's done, it should look something like this. But now what we're going to do is open up that neckband and fold so that the long ends are meeting in the middle. We're gonna do that all the way around until we get something that resembles an actual neckband. And then I recommend you go over to your sewing machine or even serger and making sure that the edges are flush. You might even want to put as many pins as you need to in there to make sure that these edges are lining up with one another as precisely as you can get it. But now I want you to go and put a stay stitch in here so that way our lines stay flushed even without the pins. And a stay stitch is just a stitch at your longest stitch length, which should be 4 on a standard heavy duty Singer sewing machine. We'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back to attach it to the front. Because I use my serger, now I'm refinding the center front by lining up the neckband by the center back and then gently pressing till I find the middle, and this is the center front. And now I'm gonna use both these notches and match them up with the ones that we created earlier before we put the front block aside. So this is the back. We're gonna line that up with the back seam, the center back, like this, and give that a pin. And then we're gonna take that center front, grab the center front of the shirt and match them right sides facing, making sure that the neckband remains on the outside of the neck opening on all sides. And then once I have those two things pinned, I can then open up that neck hole more and evenly distribute that neckband around the neck opening. And keep in mind, it will be a little smaller than the neck opening, and that is okay. We're going to lightly stretch as we sew so everything lines up evenly. Please use as many pins as you need. Once you have everything pinned, we're gonna go over to the sewing machine and make sure we lightly tug as we pull to stretch that neckband around the neck hole. But we're gonna zigzag stitch that at 3/8 of an inch, or you can just use your serger and serge all the way around. So once you've attached your collar, it should look something like this. Don't mind some of this. We're gonna go ahead and press that soon. But now what you wanna do is finish your edges on both the bottom hem and your sleeves. I like to do this with a serger. You can also do this with a zigzag stitch, because once we do that, we're going to flip the shirt inside out and press up our hem for the bottom and our sleeves 1 inch. So 1 inch from our finished edge, we're going to fold up on the inside and give it a press for the bottom hem and for both the sleeves. All right, so once you're done pressing out your sleeve hem and bottom hem, you'll want to go ahead and pin it in place with as many pins as you need. And then you're going to flip the shirt right side out so we can take it over to our sewing machine and use our twin needle. So a twin needle allows you to use 2 different thread spools to then feed through your sewing machine like normal, and then you would thread both your needles and then get to sewing. This allows the bobbin to zigzag between the 2 needles, allowing for a greater range of stretch. And then now we'll do a huge press of the garment. And then once you've pressed all your seams and cut your threads, the t-shirt is done. Give yourself a pat on the back because you did it. Hopefully you took a day or 2 to not rush through this project, especially if it's your first one. I'm always curious to see your results, so please, if you did finish the t-shirt and post it on Instagram, you can tag me at Happily Dressed. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. It's been such a fun time getting to return to YouTube in this way with a quick and easy sewing project. Fingers crossed that the other videos I have planned actually get filmed and made. I do miss seeing you guys every week. Don't forget, for more sewing content and to keep up with what I'm doing, you can follow me over on Instagram at Happily Dressed. And until next time, I will catch you all in my next video. See you guys later.